So hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. This is the first meaningful conversation that we will be having here with Living Healthy List. This is part of our new coaching club that we're going to start running, and I'm really excited about this. We decided that, with new year comes new choices, comes new programs and products and all sorts of fun things. So we're going to be here today for about an hour. I am Denise Stegall. For those of you who don't know me, I am the CEO and curator at livinghealthylist.com and your moderator for today's meaningful conversations. I'd like to quickly mention who our panelists are for today. They are Lauren Weinberg and Suzanne Taylor-King. Lauren, if you tell us just quickly who you are and what you do, and then Suzanne, if you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lauren Yellin Weinberg. I offer transformational well-being to women and a few brave men. I am known as the Becoming Coach because I help you fall in love with who you are becoming and create alignment between your mindset and your feelings and your actions so that you are showing up as who you most want to be in the world.
Thank you. Suzanne.
Hello, everyone. I'm Suzanne Taylor-King. I am a life and mental performance coach for entrepreneurs. My splash is a combination of positive psychology, high performance habits, and business skills. And I help my clients really become the best versions of themselves so their business can thrive.
Thank you. So before we get into our segment and our conversation, I'd just like to quickly go around. If everyone would just tell us who they are, don't forget to turn off your cell phone, who you are and where you're located, that would be wonderful. And then we can start this meaningful conversation. I will kind of go around and mention everyone as I see you on my screen. Stephanie, if you would go first, tell us who you are and where you're located.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stephanie Farris. I'm located in Medford, New Jersey, and I have a small business that I use Bach flower essences to help heal my clients emotionally. We do not focus on the physical. We focus on the emotions, because if you heal the emotions, you heal the physical. So right now I'm finishing my practitioner certification, and I am offering free consultations right now, because for me to have practice. So I encourage you all to learn about it for free. So I expect a text.
Very good. Thanks, Stephanie. Allison.
Hi, I'm Denise's sister, Allison, and I'm in Medford Lakes, New Jersey. So we're pretty close, Stephanie.
Yes.
We're neighbors. Well, basically, I'm an activity director in a nursing home, and I've been here for the last, 18 years, but I've been in the field for over 20. A few years back, I guess about 3 or 4 years ago, I started to get into essential oils. Denise originally had introduced essential oils to me back many years ago, and I laughed at her. I said, oh yes, I'm going to put some oil on the bottoms of my son's feet, and miraculously, he's going to not have ADHD. So I didn't listen to her for many years. So I guess it was 3 or 4 years back, I did go to a class, and I really started to get into them, started using them, started to see differences with them, and became a wellness advocate for doTERRA, which I still am, but I guess over the last year, I've kind of slowed down with actually trying to sell it and be a wellness advocate. I really just use it and talk to other people about how special they are. But I'm starting a new venture, and I'm looking into bookkeeping now, and I'm taking a course on bookkeeping, and my hope is to, I'm going to be doing bookkeeping for my cousin's business. So I'm starting off with someone who I know. So if I mess up, I won't get in too much trouble.
Oh, you won't. You'll be great.
So I'm learning with him and through this course. And then I hope to, in time, pick up some more small business clients, do their bookkeeping, eventually make that my full-time at-home job.
Very good. So TBD, huh, Allison?
What's that?
To be determined, or we'll figure out, you know, as
Oh,
time goes
TBD.
on.
Yes, I know what TBD means. I didn't know if you said CBD or TBD.
No, TBD.
Yes,
Very
TBD.
good.
Yep.
Thank you. Miss Whitney, hi there. Just
Hi.
quickly who you are, where you are, a teeny bit about you.
My name is Whitney Prude. I am in Rochester, Minnesota. A little bit about me. I am a pharmacist at the Mayo Clinic, and then I also have my own business on the side where I do pharmacy services and I do some coaching as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Miss Lori.
Hi, I'm Lori Bryant Woolridge. I am in the very chilly city of Alexandria, Virginia, right outside of DC. And I'm excited to hear and get some real great information that I know is going to be offered today.
Thank you. Luann, are you able to join us or not? I know you can't get on camera. If you can, just unmute and let us just say hello. Okay, we'll come back to you. Let's see. Debbie, can you say hello? Okay, I get the Debbie's
Hi
off.
guys, yep, I can say hello.
Here
Hi.
she is.
Sorry, I couldn't unmute myself. Yeah, sorry, I can't get on camera today. My camera's not working, but I'm Denise's assistant and just here to make sure things are running smoothly.
Thanks, Debbie. And we have Dr. Sheila.
Hello, everybody. I am in Maryland and it is cold here too, so freezing. I am a pelvic physical therapist and health coach, and I help women to reduce and eliminate their fibroids. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. So let's move on and start this great conversation. I thank every one of you for being here today. Our overview for the year of 2022, yes, we're already in 2022, is about resilience. It's about radiant resilience. And I'd like to just read this one paragraph that Ms. Lori sent to us a couple of weeks ago. Resilience. Be resolute in your determination to come back from the dark places that pull at your soul. Resilience in mind, body, and soul is the key ingredient needed to keep you in the light and on your path. Now, there is a little bit more that is included in that insight, but I think that first paragraph really is incredible and so powerful to help us to start this conversation. So the overall theme is radiant resilience. Each month, we're going to be talking about resilience in a little bit of a different way. And today in January, we are talking about one, new year, new choices. That's kind of our quarterly theme, we'll call it. And specifically today, we're talking about the resilient mindset. So I have a question to our panelists. I'm going to put this out there and I'll have you guys tell us a little bit about your thought, answer the question, and then we can move forward and open this to breakouts where everyone will either go into a breakout session with Lori or with Suzanne. So the question is, it's the new year and we're all in resolution mode. Mindset is defined as having a defined set of attitudes. How would you define mindset and the role that it plays in your work as a coach, as a business coach, as a, well, I guess as both of you are coaches. And then additionally, how important is a resilient mindset and why? So Lauren,
Sure.
if you would go first, because you're on my top left.
No problem. You know, first of all, the word that I really want to highlight here, you said, you know, many things just now, but one of the things that you linked together is that there's choice, right? New year, new choices. And to me, that whole concept of resilience and mindset, really the way that we approach life in general is a choice. And most people don't see it that way. You know, it's such an ingrained habit, right? That's really, our mindset is just a deeply ingrained habit. It's an accumulation of the experiences that we've had, the influences and the experiences that we've had going through life. And it has become sort of our default setting, but really at its core, it's a habit. And that's why we talk about resilient mindset, because it's possible to make changes. I mean, to me, it's the basis of everything. I like to think of creating our lives like a garden. And it starts with the fertile soil, and your mindset is the fertile soil. It ends with, planting so many good seeds that there's absolutely no chance, there's no room, not a little squiggle of room for any weeds to grow, right? So it's, putting in so much good that there's no room for any of the weeds. But your mindset is the fertile soil that allows you to, it's where everything else springs from. It allows you to see the world, as sunshine or gray clouds. Like this is, this is the choice. So I have a lot more to say about that, but let me give Suzanne a chance to.
I wrote down fertile soil, and I was just thinking, like, I'm seeing like things growing, and I love it.
Again, what we plant is a choice, right?
Yes.
So that's the fertile soil.
Yes. I'd love to come at it from the opposite angle that, our brains are wired for negativity and to protect us. So when that's your default, then it becomes easier to stay in that negative frame of mind. So by switching that default, of course, you have to be in the habit of being more, and it's not just about being positive, but it's about being more resilient, truly. And that means, to me, in the work that I do, is helping my clients bounce back better from negative mindset, which that's in the moment. You want to catch yourself being negative and be able to flip that. So that's real-time resilience. And that's the goal for me in working with people, is really that real-time actual tool or skill of being able to flip it like a light switch. And it doesn't come right away. Sometimes it takes 3 weeks to flip a negative situation and find the gift. Sometimes it takes 3 hours. But when you start getting down into the 3 minutes, something negative happens, a setback happens, a struggle happens, technology issue happens, and you're able to either find the good in it or not sweat the small stuff. That's true resilience.
I love it. Thank you. Lauren, you had something to include.
Yeah, no, and that, I think Suzanne's absolutely right, that we are hardwired to see negative. That keeps us safe. Like at one point we were running from saber-toothed tigers and it was easy, right? See tiger, run. Like it served us. But there's so much in our lives that we see as danger. And this is where the choice comes in. This is where the new habits come in, right? So I think that learning that skill, that first understanding that it's that basic understanding that it's a choice. This isn't the way it has to be. So then learning that skill of how to, as Suzanne is saying, flip the script, like that's where the new habits are developed. But again, just, want to reiterate that, whether to stay entrenched in where we are or see new possibility, and it's not just positivity, it's possibility. That's where the choice comes in.
Well, I love that. Not just positivity, it's possibility.
Yes, I love that.
I wish I could write as fast as I could talk.
I just read about a study that was done numerous years ago by a coach, John Asheroff. He did this study that before you're 17 years old, you are told no over 200,000 times. And you're only told, yes, you can, an eighth of those times. And I just posted about this on social media because it really stuck with me. the amount of negative inputs that we receive, not only as children, but as adults as well, that if we're only receiving an eighth of those that are positive, well, no wonder most people are feeling negative or default to the negative. So it's almost like you have to practice that positive or encouraging statements in your self-talk in order to override all of those negative inputs from the outside. So whether it's body image, whether it's diet and exercise, whether it's someone else's business success or bad news on the news, like there's so much coming at us that's negative, it really becomes a practice of overlaying positive things.
And why is this important, right? So it's not just to feel better in your life, right? And that is it's so super important. I mean, who doesn't want to feel better? Who doesn't want to feel happy? And, you know, our limiting beliefs are just that, they're limiting, right? They hold us back. We are living then more in fear instead of in, again, possibility. But we actually know from the research that people who are more optimistic live longer. They live longer and they live healthier. So there is incredible motivation to make the effort to learn that new skill, to learn those new habits, to practice the way Suzanne is saying, to practice those new ways of thinking that are, you know, more positive.
What I think is really exciting now is we're going to pop into breakouts, because I'd love for both you and Suzanne, Lauren and Suzanne, to share, you know, what your tips and your strategies are for us to really acquire a resilient mindset. You know, I think there are times in life when we're better than others. But I think it's something that needs to be consistent in life. You know, we kind of like to be more steady rather than, you know, all the ups and downs that we do experience. So we're going to into 2 breakout sessions. I'm going to pop into both. The only disappointing thing is I don't think you can record. I don't think that records the breakout sessions. But I'm sure those conversations would be really interesting, because I do want this to be a conversation, you know, as we pop into the breakouts. Obviously, Suzanne, Lauren, you guys will lead the conversation, but I'd love for everybody else, you know, to, you know, really be part of the conversation. Ask the questions that you have, you know, share your insight as well.
Can I make a suggestion, Denise? And feel free to override, but we are a small group. I mean, why don't we just stay? People can participate. We'll just open up the conversation now and let people ask questions.
I'm happy to do that. Suzanne, you comfortable with that?
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
That way we can keep the conversation going and you can keep
record it and share it
more
with
for people to hear when they check in later.
Yeah.
That sounds great. You know me, I'm always open to suggestions, recommendations. So there we go. So, okay, so let's keep this conversation going then. Thoughts about your resilient mindset when it comes to, it's January, so new year, everybody's jumped into the resolution mode, right? Though if you have checked out Living Healthy List recently, I wrote an article how new choices will trump resolutions every single time. And Lauren and Suzanne have been giving us little bits and pieces as to why. So I guess that's the question, you know, how does making these new choices, you know, beat out making a resolution every time? I know my answer, but that doesn't count.
It counts. Absolutely. I would say for me personally, and what I typically encourage people to do at the start of a new year or a birthday or a new month, whenever you're looking to make some changes, it's to pick one habit that you want to install and one that you would like to delete. And, you know, the habit that you want to install, you have to make it as easy as possible. It has to be totally accessible, visible in your face so that you are constantly reminded of that new habit. You know, you can't eat healthy if you don't have healthy food in the fridge. So, and as far as deleting something, you need to make it difficult. So if you're trying to limit your news exposure or your digital time, make it hard to reach, put it out of sight, set time limits. But I found that one at a time and then stacking those habits on top of each other. I do my affirmations while I brush my teeth, and the fact that they go together, I never miss brushing my teeth. So therefore, I never miss doing my positive affirmations.
And positive affirmations, definitely when it comes to mindset, if you need, you know, a simple strategy, you know, saying to yourself, I have one here. Where did it go? Oh, I lost my card with affirmations. It was right here in front of me like 2 minutes ago. I am worthy. I can do this. I am smart. This is up to me. Like those are things that I say to myself every single day. And so those positive affirmations absolutely are a great strategy. Let's see, Miss Lori has her hand up.
I'm the polite student. So I have a question for either one of you. So when, you know, we talk about resiliency and being flexible and trying new things and being positive and all that, but how do you stay on track with this mindset you're trying to establish when the world around you, and sometimes that world is your family, you know, the kind of influencers in your life, are not on the same kind of page? So I would love to know any tips on that, because they're killing me.
Yeah, Lauren, I'll let you take that one first.
There are so many different parts to that question, but it's a fabulous question because everybody deals with that. I mean, the first thing to know is, you know, like developing any new habit, it's not going to be perfect, right? And you are never in your life going to get completely free of or put in your rear view mirror completely those first automatic thoughts that you have. So it's learning to recognize them and interrupt the cycle. So one of the first things to me that it's really important to understand when you're dealing with mindset is that most things that people do or say that feel critical to you, feel judgmental, are not about you. Just know that right from the onset. That's mostly about their own unmet needs, their own unfinished business, and you don't need to own it. Now you're going to have to keep reminding yourself of that. You know, that's something that you have to remember again and again and again. But that is sort of the baseline. And then it's catching yourself. I know for me, everything shifted for me when I started catching myself speaking negatively in my head. And whether that's about myself or about somebody else, what you think about, you bring about. You know, what you focus on with your words, you're going to focus on with your emotions. So it's interrupting that cycle. I call it catch and release. Like catch yourself. It's practice, you know, and it's so easy. Oh my gosh, it still happens. And I've been doing this for 10, 15 years. You know, it's so easy if you don't do something properly to say, oh my God, I'm such an idiot for doing that. But as soon as I hear those words, I stop, I catch it. And I say, no, you're not an idiot. You're just busy. Your attention is divided. You know, I come up with something that's a more possible statement. It doesn't have to be absurdly positive. If it's your family that's upsetting you, you know, you start hearing the old tapes go on. Oh my God, he's doing it again. Oh my God, I can't believe they're criticizing me again. Catch. And you let it go. Okay, maybe this is about what they're struggling with. Maybe this is about them having a hard time. They might not have the same opinion that I do, and that's okay because I can have my own opinion. You know, it's a matter to me of catch and let it go. And then it's the practice of that. And to remind yourself, you can put a phrase on a mirror or something that you see every day. You can put a beautiful smiling picture of yourself with your family to remind you how you want to feel in their presence. That could be a powerful reminder.
I love the idea of catch and release. I catch myself probably too often saying exactly something that my mom used to say, and she still does, and she's 80. She would say, well, that was dumb. And she mean it that was dumb. I had done was dumb. And it's something that has stayed with me my entire life. And I have to admit, I would say in the last 10 years, I have caught myself saying it, and I've kind of, I guess I never thought of it as releasing, but I'd say it and I'd actually kind of giggle about it because I knew where it was coming from and that it was not meant as the negative that I was actually putting onto it. So, Suzanne, if you would like to, if you have something to add as well.
I will add that I like visual reminders. You know, like Lauren mentioned, a picture, or I used to wear a bracelet. It was one of those string bracelets that you put on and it doesn't come off. And it recently wore so thin that it fell off. And I need to get another one because I miss having that reminder on my wrist. It was just a simple black string with a little charm with a Buddha that said enlightenment on the charm. And that would remind me when I was being affected by something outside of myself, someone else's mood, someone else's personality, someone else's judgment. When somebody was trying to stick a Post-it on me, I could remember that I don't need to allow that. And because it was attached to me, it was always there. So that was really helpful for me. Now, some of my clients I work with, a lot of men, I suggest a stone in the pocket or a special coin or something that ties them to that feeling of peace, calm, creating their life from the inside out rather than the outside in.
I love that, Suzanne. You know what? I heard two men speak recently, very incredibly successful men that we've all heard of, but I'm terrible with names, so I'm not even going to try. But even after making their badillions of dollars, they still carry with them like little laminated cards with their original intentions.
Yes.
And they keep it in their pocket or somewhere where they can actually touch it and hold it every day. I keep a little Post-it note, a little torn piece of paper, actually, next to my computer about reminding me, how do I want to show up in this moment?
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, I'm going to show my little card. You see all the writing on it. Luann, you'll appreciate this. Okay, when my life is ideal, I am living healthy, lean, vibrant, and energetically. And it goes, I have 5 of them here. And those are things that are important to me. It's essential for my health, happiness, my fulfillment, and my purpose. And it's, like I said, it's right here on my computer. I have one that sits next to my bed. There's one that's actually in the cabinet in the bathroom. I think those sometimes those reminders, those visual cues are so important because life gets busy. You know, some days you wake up and you don't feel good and you don't feel like you want to be resilient or you don't want to be the positive person that you usually are.
And I think one of the things with journaling, if you're into that, writing how you want to show up every day. And I do 3 different categories and teach people to do that. Energy, how do I want to show up? How do I want to show up with work? And how do I want to show up in my love relationships? And in the love category, me comes first. So when I look at my love relationships, it's me, we, and us together. And that reminder every day to show up for me first, then we, then us, really helps ground me in. And it is a daily practice.
And that's a mindset too, right, Suzanne? That's a mindset, knowing that you have to fill up yourself first.
Yes.
And you have to fill up those holes and not look outside of yourself to fill those holes. That's part of a positive mindset. That's part of what's possible.
Well, otherwise you're looking for something else to fill that void, whether it's, Oreo cookies or another glass of wine or sleeping.
Another human.
Another human. Yeah. Yeah. I think learning that about yourself. So I think now that we're saying this, part of resilience is knowing yourself, really being willing to do that introspection and ask yourself some hard questions and get clear on who you want to be.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I love how where this conversation is going. We talk resilience, we talk some self-care there, and I just made the connection how they really do go hand in hand. That self-care, that resilient mindset, it really is a part of, should become part of every day if we're going to continue to up level and really continue that mindset.
Yeah.
I would love to hear, thoughts and questions that you guys may have for Lauren, for Suzanne, for the group. When it comes to resilience, in your life, in your mindset, where do you struggle?
You mean me personally? Where do I struggle?
Well, let's open it up, right? Let's open it up to everybody here. And it may not be where you struggle. What helps you as well? What's your thoughts on the topic?
Miss Stephanie, I see you have you have your hand up.
Yeah, hi. Oh, by the way, this is Phoenix. You weren't introduced to him earlier. This is my little baby boy. So I kind of come from a different way of thinking. When you going to school for something holistic as a practitioner, you start thinking that way, right? Okay, you start thinking through that process. And every time I'm hearing you guys talk, all these different flowers are just popping up in my head. Hornbeam, white chestnut, walnut, chestnut bud to break patterns, So I'm coming from that they are my tools. They are what I've been my best friend for so long. And they're a vibrational medicine. But Lauren, I made some notes as to like what you were saying. You were saying, to break habits. But it's also, as you were saying, Suzanne, to identifying what those habits are, writing down your feelings in journals. So for me, I have a journal. We have a feelings journal, which is basically a journal because everything happens during your day affects your feelings. People, atmosphere, especially I'm sure a lot of us maybe some impact when we feel a lot of energy around us. Sometimes when I'm on Zooms, I literally have to just turn off the camera because that cuts down the energy I feel coming from other people. But this is all good energy, so I'm good. But like let's see, like the layers. So for me, when I break the habits and the feelings, I think about the different layers we have. That's how we work with Bach flower essences. We deal with our layers. We address what we're feeling today. So with you were saying be resilient and breaking habits is we don't want to, like you were saying, the selection is important. It is important that we don't select something that is far in the future to break or something that happened yesterday. What's happening today? That's what you want to focus on, and something that's reachable. So for me, like I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I'm starting to fall in love with one of the flowers. Like you fall in love with each one separately as you go through the process of taking these layers off yourself. And the one is chestnut bud for breaking patterns. Okay. So I made this, I don't know if you saw my post, Suzanne or Denise, but I made this sandwich and it was absolutely delicious. Okay. I'm not going to go into details but it's really good. Anyway, I'm a vegan, gluten-free, so I ate half of it and I'm looking at it and I'm going, I really don't need to eat the other half, and I couldn't do that yesterday, but I was taking the chestnut bud. So it made me stop and think. And then I saved it. And you know how much time that saves you from making another sandwich the next day? The energy, or the spoons, I call them. It was like crazy. I'm like, wow. Like for lunchtime today, I was like, oh my God, I have my sandwich. And I was all excited, I did it, So my approach and my seeing it is going to be through the flowers. And I hope that helps you guys, because that's how I think right now.
Thank you. I think what's something that you made that I wrote down what you said is, something that happened yesterday, something that's out in the future. I think it's a very good point when it comes to that resilient mindset. We really can only affect what's happening today. What the choices, then we go back to the word choice, the choices we make today will impact our future, those things that are out in the future. So I think it's really important. We talk resiliency and resilient mindset. We can't talk about what happened yesterday. You can't fix that. You really can't do much about the future except for making a choice today. So thank you for that, Stephanie.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Whitney, I'm going to pick on you because I know how brilliant you are and that I know you have some insight for us. Or a question. She didn't know I was going to do that.
Well,
She's resilient, so it's okay.
I mean, it's interesting to sit on, when I sit on calls like this and have conversations like this, I'm always thinking, is this something that applies to me? Is there something that I'm not aware of? It's interesting because, so when I think about these things, the majority of my life, as much as I can remember, for some reason, I was just blessed with confidence, right? So I've never had like these thoughts in the back of my mind that beat myself up, which I'm incredibly grateful for. But it's interesting. So last night I was at work at the hospital. So I was working as a pharmacist, and on my dinner break, I had watched this video. So I'm interested in getting into public speaking. So I've started this speaking course, and part of the recommendation that they had in terms of the course was, when you're trying to decide, your topic and how to kind of narrow down your topic, go on to some speaker bureaus and different organizations and look at different speakers who are speaking about certain topics that are similar to mine, right, of what I'm interested in, and see what they, see what they're speaking about, see what they have to say. So I started opening them all up, and I'm looking at all these really experienced speakers, and I'm reading through their bios, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how do I start at this as this newbie speaker, right, when all of these people have these established bios and all of these high fees and all of those things. And I have my coworker that I was working with, she's like, you can write, you can on paper, right? I could write just as impressive of a bio that someone would read my bio and probably think the same thing, where I'm sitting here reading their bios and I'm like, oh my, kind of getting a little bit nervous of like, how do I compete with these people? So I don't get a lot, it's not, I'm not beating myself up. I'm not saying I can't do it. I'm not, none of that, but like, I get this just a little bit of like nervousness of like, oh my gosh.
I love that, Whitney, because you're at the edge of your comfort zone, and that's where growth happens, right? That little pit in your stomach, that little bit of fear, it's not stopping you, because you do have incredible confidence, right? Which is just, your confidence is I know I can figure it out. That's true
Yeah.
confidence, right? Not I'm good at this or I'm not good at this, but I know I can figure this out. But that fear, that's great. Then you know you're in the right spot for where you should be growing.
So
Yeah.
the fear is
that's
good.
fantastic.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is. And so long as it doesn't become paralyzing, it
Okay.
is. And then the more when you get out there and you start doing it, and you didn't let your fear stop you, then you're also letting your brain know, you're creating these neural pathways in your brain that says, I can.
Yeah.
Even when it's scary, I can. But you can start by just telling yourself that. So kudos to you. You're going to be fabulous.
You're going to be fabulous.
You're already fabulous. You're just going to get more fabulous.
You're going to be a fabulous speaker.
Yeah.
I will share that when I first started speaking, I felt exactly the same way. Like, oh my gosh, I'll never get paid to speak. Oh my gosh, like I got to have so much more. And it wasn't that I felt bad about myself, but it was, I'm not there yet. And my very first paid speaking gig was at a vitamin conference. So like a trade show for a vitamin company. And I was asked to speak on positivity and mindset and how that can be improved with food choices and supplements. You know, ultimately it leads back to the supplements, but I incorporated interactive things, laughter, and it was a wonderful talk. It was so rehearsed and I could do it without the note cards. And I got there, 500 people in the room, I'm being paid. Yes, this is what it's going to be. And then I saw the lineup of speakers and everybody was a doctor except for me. And I had to go into the bathroom and literally give myself a coaching conversation in order to still get up on stage and throw the note cards away and be me in the face of everybody else is a doctor. And I'm so glad I did it. But at the time, I really had to talk myself into it. And it wasn't about, I think when you make it about comparing, like I'm not a doctor, then it's hard. But when I went into the bathroom and focused on why they hired me, because I'm funny, because I'm different, because I have a different tone of voice, because I'm going to share practical tools for the audience to use, not medical research. And that's what made all the difference. And that was the resilient streak in me coming out, you know?
Right.
I think we all have it within us. It's just a matter of really tapping into it and tuning it in.
Yes.
Which is awareness, right? It's awareness and intention. Everything starts with awareness and intention. So setting the awareness to catch those limiting thoughts, because that's all they are. Comparing yourself to other people, that's just another version of a limiting thought. And so the awareness to just to see it when it comes up, and the intention to then do something about it when it comes up, and not just sit in the limitation, but to say, I can push past this. So make sure you leave some time to talk about tools, because I have a few tools I want to mention for people.
Actually, I was just looking at my notes, and that's actually what I was just going to say. Like, what are some of the strategies and the tools that we can share with everyone?
Go ahead, Lauren.
Sure. Clearly, I had something in mind.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the really power duo for me in dealing with mindset and dealing with so many things, but it starts with setting aside time, as Suzanne said, to look inward. I think meditation is really one of your very biggest tools. So meditation, or at least some time in quiet where you can go internal. This helps you learn to be in that present moment. It helps rewire your brain to see in the moment. But you have to be present in the moment if you're going to take on these limitations, if you're going to change your mindset. You have to see it when it's happening. The other thing is gratitude. Gratitude actually rewires your brain faster than anything else, even meditation. So I recommend keeping a gratitude list before you go to sleep every night. And it's the last thing that goes in. So gratitude before you go to sleep. And I also love a list of what you like about yourself. And it could be the same thing every day until you think of more to add. But those two things together is such a beautiful way to end your day. And it will help, bring sweet dreams. And also I happen to have a tool for people. If you text to the number 22828 and you text the word lasting change, all is one word, you will receive an opportunity to get my tool called Shine Brighter, Finding Freedom from Limiting Beliefs. And it's a methodology that I take to walk you through what Suzanne and I have been talking about this whole time. It literally starts with seeing the limiting belief and ends with an evolved thought, a more positive, more possible thought.
I love that. Well, you got my favorite tool was the bracelet. My second favorite tool would be to decide early in the morning how you want to show up that day with intention, whether it's a word or something you're grateful for. The planner that I use actually has a space for my intention for the day. So if it's fun or joy, or sometimes I just write more water. More water improves my mindset so much. Plus it makes me get up from my desk very often, right? So, but I think that's one of my favorite tools, is the ability to be aware of my intention for the day. And if there's something that pops up that does not match that intention for the day, I don't do it. I don't address it. I don't think about it. And that's been helpful not only for my parenting, for my relationship with my husband, but also for my business. Picking an intention for my business each day makes it feel easier. It makes it feel like I'm actually accomplishing something every day.
And you're welcoming that positivity as a baseline, which I love.
Yeah.
I love that fact, because as you were saying that last piece, Suzanne, about the intention for the day, I think a lot of us can get stuck in instead of setting the attention, it's what am I going to accomplish today? Like the task list. And I will say I am guilty of that. Yesterday, I had one thing on my task list and I did complete it, but was that really my intention? Was the intention to get this thing done, or really was the intention to be mindful?
Yeah. I mean, task lists are awesome. They're important. We're entrepreneurs or business owners. We have tasks that we need to do, whether it's client appointments or posting on social media or writing an article, right? But what's the intention behind it? I do ease often. I want it to feel easy. If it doesn't feel easy, I don't want to do it. So if I say it feels easy, then, wow, this is easy. Wow, this is easy. And you can feel like the energy behind that. Yes, I do talk to myself quite often here in my office, but that pumps up my energy. So, but if that doesn't work for you, put on some music and dance around to your favorite song to get into that ease and flow and just that.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any last bits? We have about 8 minutes. I just need a few minutes at the end to kind of wrap up. Any last comments, thoughts anyone has? Steph.
Real quick, again, Thank you so much for inviting me to be here and with your group. I'm so thankful for that and grateful. So, but I just wanted to let you guys know I'm serious about if you're interested in learning a little bit about what I'm doing. So it might help some of your clients for coaching. It's a tool that can possibly help your clients when they get stuck or when you get stuck. And I need people to practice on. And I've been doing it for a while, but I still want to get that flow going. So if anybody wants to, please just reach out to me. It won't cost you anything.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Do me a part. Do me help.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So help Stephanie be resilient in what she is working on. Very good. That is what I have. If Suzanne or Lauren, if you have any last tools, thank you for what you've given us. This is really great. I've got 3 amazing tools from each of you, and I will make sure that everybody gets a copy of the recording, but also the transcript, because I think the transcript is really interesting. It's one thing to listen to a recording, but it says something when you actually see what was said, especially things like tools. So those are things that we can all take with us moving forward. I'd like to again thank everyone, Lauren and Suzanne, for being our I guess our panelists today. I was going to say hot seat coaches, but that's next week. Thank you for being our panelists today. I really appreciate your insight. Thank you everyone for being here with us. Next Friday, we have something really exciting that we're starting along with Meaningful Conversations, which moving forward will be held on the first Tuesday of the month. Another exciting thing that we have as part of the Living Healthy List Coaching Club is something called Free Coaching Fridays or Free Connection Friday. Give it a name. I like Free Coaching Friday because of the alliteration. I think it's really a fun way for us to get to know our coaches and how they can help each of our members, our audience. And so Free Coaching Fridays will be held on the 1st and 3rd Friday of every month. So this first one will actually be on the 3rd week of January. So Friday, January 21st, again at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. I will send out a link to everybody just to let you know, or just to let us know that you are going to participate in that. I do want to say thank you again to everyone, and I do have for our guests today, I do have a prize. It is a copy of The Successful Body. This is a best-selling book in the US and Canada, and I have a chapter in here specifically about eat real food, because when it comes to being resilient, being healthful, it all stems from what you're eating and how you're eating. So for our guests today, you will get a copy of The Successful Body, and if you'd like for me to sign it, I will do that too.
Oh, that's so cute. And I put my link in the chat for my quiz to find out how positive or negative your brain is thinking. It's a quick little quiz, and it gives you a percentage of positive or negative. And then, of course, some emails to help you get more positive.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you everyone for being here on our first Meaningful Conversations of 2022. Again, our overall theme is Radiant Resilience, and this quarter, January, February, March, we are looking at new year, new choices. And in January, we are focused mostly on the Radiant Mindset. We will be here on Friday, January 21st for Free Coaching Friday, 12 p.m. to talk a little bit more, to get personal coaching, ask your questions, get that personal hot seat coaching that you have been looking for, that you know will get you from where you are to that next step closer to where you want to be. So thank you again, everyone, for being here. We will see you on the 21st. Our coaches on the 21st, I believe, actually are Lauren, and I thought Luann, but I could be wrong. But Lauren is one of our hot seat coaches, and Luann, I believe you're our other hot seat coach, which will be really exciting. You have 2 people who are amazing at what they do. They have different steps and different approaches. So join us for free coaching Friday next week, Friday, 21st of January, 12 p.m. Till then, I leave you with this, everyone. Healthy living, happy life. Have a great week.
Thanks for coming, everyone. Thanks for having me, Denise.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks everyone.